Hi, Dr. Bill Diamond here. Today we're going to talk about the 3 things that all top leaders do and why you probably won't do them. Well, I hope it got your attention there. That's my point, that's my way. I try to get everybody to think and offend everybody at least once. But I want you to think about how you might be different from a top leader and why I'm making that statement. Well, what's the first thing that top leaders do? They are acutely aware of their core competencies. Well, you may say, hey, Dr. Bill, a lot of us are. But what makes them different is they're a mad dog. They're incredibly focused on staying within them. Even if the company's moving in a different direction, ding ding, they're willing to get off the bus sometimes. Now, how do they figure out what their core competency area is? Well, maybe many of you know there are tests like the Strengths Finder 2.0. And if you haven't had a chance to take that, I highly recommend you do that. All my clients do that to start with me. And what you do is you take the test through the same name, Strengths Finder 2.0. It's a book by Tom Rath, and you can take the book using a code online, and it generates your top 5 skill sets. Now, what I want you to do afterwards is I want you to create a little matrix and compare your current job with these 5 competency areas and see whether or not you're using any of them at all, how much you're using it on a scale of 1 to 10. You might find at number 2 or number 4 you're not using, but you're using that in your kids' soccer. You're using that in the gym. You're using that in the shop. As long as most of them are used, you're going to be very happy indeed. You know, as a matter of fact, there's a lot of people that manage to get themselves fired, consciously or not, because they know on some level that it just has to end. They've managed to stagnate. They've managed to be pushed into a little eddy. Nothing's happening for them. They've been commoditized. But top leaders are willing to have that conversation with the boss. Now, buyer beware, there's a risk there. You can have a conversation with someone and they can tell you, hey, thanks for sharing, but we've now narrowed down your job. It's this. If you don't do this, nicely said perhaps, we've got a line out the door of people willing to do that. You may have to move. You've got to be courageous, but you also have to be cautious, but you've got to do something. And top leaders are willing to do that. One of the things Dan Miller, one of my mentors, says is that when you begin to develop something on the side, when it starts approaching 50% of your income, it's definitely time to jump. If you have a spouse that's working, you can have some of those tough conversations, but top leaders stay within them. Let me give you 2 contrasting stories that will explain what not to do and what to do. One of my headhunter friends says, if you've been at a job for 10 years and now you're looking or you've been let go, you've got some splaining to do with the person who might hire you about why you've been at that job for so long. Have you continued to grow for those 10 years? Have you had promotions during those 10 years? Or have you learned what you needed to learn in 2 or 3 years and just stuck it out? You know what? That's not what people are looking for these days. In contrast, I have a friend in her early 40s, and every 3 or 4 years she makes a major career move. Now, why does she do that? She does it because she realizes after 4 years, unless she's had a promotion, she's given what she can give to that position and she's ready for the next phase. She's learned what she can learn and given what she can give. And you know what? She says, I'm not going to stick around for 4 years or more with any other job unless I get to the C level, and it looks like that'll be her next big move. She's very strategic, and she's going to be a top leader. She already is. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this first video about the things that top leaders all do and why you may not do them. And I hope you'll consider how I can get into that group as well. Our next video will talk about the second thing that all top leaders do. This is Dr. Bill Diamond. I hope you've enjoyed this little video, and we'll see you soon.